So one of the things I'd love to talk to you about is allulose, because I believe you use it every single day.
Every day.
How did you discover allulose? I mean, why allulose?
On my weight loss journey, so one of the big things I discovered was sugar and reducing my sugar in not only helping with weight loss, but overall mood, energy, etc. So I was always looking for alternative sweeteners, and I love to cook, and a lot of my content is cooking. And it was a few Christmases ago that I was making a lot of holiday treats, and I was using a different sweetener that was more erythritol or sugar alcohol based. And the result just wasn't good. And so I found allulose, and I loved it because it bakes up well, it browns well, you know, it tastes so much more like sugar. It tastes actually exactly like sugar. But all of the different brands that I found that are available out there do cut it with erythritol. And I don't know if that's to bulk it up or for cost reasons. But I started using allulose more because it was the closest thing to sugar, and it made my desserts taste real. Like it made my desserts taste like real desserts without alternative sweeteners in it. I literally make desserts for my whole family. This Thanksgiving, all of my desserts will have allulose, and no one ever knows the difference.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That is just amazing. So it's got the characteristics of sugar.
Yeah, it's not a 1-to-1, it's about a 1.5 to 1.
Okay.
So you just have to add a little more allulose than you would sugar to any recipe, but otherwise, literally, it's undetectable that it's not sugar.
That's amazing, and no one picks it up.
Nobody picks it up. And they're always surprised after when I say, that was sugar-free.
And it was yummy.
And it was delicious.
Oh, that's fantastic. The thing that I actually really like about allulose, and you probably know some of this, is that it doesn't give you that blood sugar spike, which we know some other sweeteners can do.
Right.
Not all, but some other sweeteners can do. But also metabolically, it's really good for you. You know, feeding your microbiome, it's got antioxidant activities. It can even stimulate your own GLP-1 production, which is really good for satiety. So you're getting a lot of good benefits from this, not just the sweetness.
So that's so interesting to me. So when people are saying they're cutting sugar, really when you're using other alternative sweeteners, you're just cutting calories, because one of the other risks is the blood sugar spike. So honestly, you're not getting that with other sweeteners, you're just cutting calories?
Well, it depends on which one you use,
Right.
but you're not getting all those other benefits. So I guess when you're looking at one thing, it tastes good, it works well, and you're getting all the benefits. It makes sense.
And it bakes perfectly.
So Lolita, you are really well known for your weight loss journey. I can't even imagine how difficult that would have been. So many people just never really get there, and they fall over time and time again, and they never get there. But you've gotten there. Can you tell us a bit about what started you off, some of the tips and tricks along the way, and what kept you going? Because it's quite incredible.
Really taking it day by day. Before I was chasing quick weight loss, and I would go up and down, throughout my 20s, 30s, 40s, because I was trying to, get to the finish line of my goal weight so fast. And what I found was that making small tweaks to my diet and just being consistent and, losing 1 to 2 pounds a week actually not only helped me reach my goal, but I've been able to maintain it for the first time in my life because it wasn't a crash diet. I've made sustainable changes to the way I eat and my lifestyle that work for me. I don't feel deprived, and I've been able to maintain it now because I didn't make drastic changes. I found alternatives that work really well because I love food. I obviously love to cook. So I just had to find things that worked for my lifestyle that didn't make it feel like I'm on a diet.
So Lolita, one of the things that you are really well known for is having lost a lot of weight in a very healthy and sustainable way.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, they find that incredibly hard.
Yeah.
They try, they fall over, they give up. You clearly didn't. You got there and you're maintaining it, which I think is one of the hardest things to do when people lose weight, is to maintain that.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about your journey, what you've learned, and how you've been able to achieve this?
Yeah, for me, it really was a lot of trial and error. And as I got into my 40s, it was harder and harder to lose the weight. So it was really about making small changes, not chasing the big goal of trying to, get to the finish line of losing what ended up being 90 pounds quickly. I made small changes that were sustainable for me, swapping out sugar because I love to cook, I love to bake, focusing on my protein and making small changes and habits that, eventually ended up making a big difference because I was able to lose 90 pounds. And not only was I able to lose it, but I've been able to maintain that now for almost a decade. So
That is really huge, and I think that's really hard. People talk about their weight loss journey, but they never talk about the journey once you reach ideal weight.
Yeah.
Equally hard.
Equally hard, but it's made easier because I've been able to find these little swaps that are small changes that make a big difference. So again, the allulose, making sure I get my protein in every day, having a really having balanced high protein, high fiber meals every single time I eat when I can. Those are the little things that I incorporate that have made the biggest difference, and it's how I've been able to finally maintain my weight loss for the first time in my life at 50, almost 53 years old.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I do want to ask you something though, because a lot of people who lose a lot of weight, psychologically you've got to be strong, but also your self-image must change. Does that take time? Because you might see yourself as a certain way and now you're different. You've transformed.
I guess right now I look at pictures, like when I see pictures from before, I'm like, did I really look like that? Like I looked unhealthy, my skin looked unhealthy. I just, I wasn't being a good role model for my kids who are now in their 20s. But it was more like, wow, I can't believe that I've made this transformation and I've finally been able to make it stick.
So I know you're a big fan of Allulose, but also there's Skin Boost Plus. Tell us, how did you discover that?
Well, first I found Skin Boost Plus, and I absolutely love it. I have the marine, I have the regular, I have all the different flavors. I absolutely love this. I've been a fan of collagen forever, and I've been incorporating collagen, especially through my weight loss journey, to make sure that my skin and everything, bounced back, because black skin is a big part of weight loss. So I've always incorporated collagen. And when I found Skin Boost Plus, I was just so impressed with the quality. I love the whole line of collagen because of the bioactive nature of them. So like the Muscle Boost is so amazing, and all of the other ones. And so then when I found out that Sparkle Wellness developed allulose, which was just like mind-blowing to me, because it was a sweetener that I had been starting to incorporate, and I was so discouraged that they were cutting it. Most of the ones that I was finding were cut with other fillers or sugar alcohol. So when I found out that my favorite collagen brand now made my favorite sweetener and made it in the purest form, I was like beyond thrilled. So yeah, I was super excited.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you both put them into our cheesecake.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. Yeah. And I didn't know you can bake with this.
Yes, it is actually the secret to high protein, low carb baking. To get that texture right, add collagen.
Who knew? That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I've learned so much from you today.
I did. I learned more from you too.